Congresswoman, welcome back to the Sunday show. It's been a long time since we've spoken. So can I just get your reaction to what we've been seeing through Elon Musk's wrecking ball through the federal government, and specifically through this news coming out of USAID tonight that 2,000 people will find out today that they've been fired?
Yeah, so a couple of things. First of all, I just have to say thank you to the American people. Because clearly your resilience and your resistance, it is right there front and center where we need it to be. The fact that they showed up in record numbers all over the country, showing up and confronting those members of Congress that have decided, as I stated in a hearing the other week, that they wanted to castrate their constitutional duties. So I am excited to see that the American people are not sitting by idly and pretending as if they don't understand how the three co-equal branches of government work. Unfortunately, the Republicans in the House have decided they don't really care. Whatever Elon wants to do, who cares if they got elected to office? They're going to collect their checks. They're going to take the congressional delegation trips around the world, and that's pretty much all they're going to do, and campaign for the next election through sitting through committees. But at the same time, we know that Elon Musk supposedly does not have any authority whatsoever, according to the White House, at least in their court filings. But the idea that this guy thinks that he can go in and send out an email to the entire federal government and have everyone report to him when at the same time they're saying that he has no authority is bewildering to me. But I'm going to tell you who also has shocked me. Some of the leaders of these organizations that have said we are not going to relinquish our duties. We understand our jobs. We understand that these people report to us and they don't report to Musk. And so with that, I do want to applaud anybody that at this moment has the audacity to actually do what they were either elected to do or do exactly what they are paid to do.
Congresswoman, there are a lot of people who still are out there wondering, where's the fire and the fight from elected Democrats? Where are they? Why aren't they bringing, fighting fire with fire? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that critique? And two, do you think the Democrats in Congress are getting better at pushing back against what's happening?
I think that we're struggling from a lot of the things that we struggled from during the campaign, which was that we may be pushing back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people can hear us or see us. Some of us have the ability to be a little bit more amiable when it comes to working in different types of platforms, and therefore you end up being seen a lot more. I will tell you that I have conversations consistently, day and night. There are so many chats that we have where we are talking about what we're going to do, and we're talking about what we are doing. But a matter of amplifying those things is a lot more difficult. And I think that it's important that those of us that sit in Congress have to figure out what is really the best way for us to communicate. And we've got to settle into that and recognize that not everyone's going to sit on a podcast, not everyone's going to be social media savvy, but they are going to have to find their communication lane. And so I do think that it is something that we struggle with. We know right now we obviously have X that's owned by Elon. We've also got the other news network that I won't name, and some other things. So there's an actual ecosystem that pumps out this disinformation consistently on behalf of them.
Congresswoman, let me get you on a policy thing. I'm going to play for you what Leader Jeffries said on CNN today when asked whether a shutdown was on the table, because we have that March 14th deadline coming up. Listen to what he has to say, and I'll talk with you about it on the other side.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because as we've been discussing, we have to stop this reckless Republican budget from going forward, and that's going to be on the floor on Tuesday. What we do know is that the Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It is their responsibility to fund the government.
Congresswoman, do Democrats have the stomach to withhold votes from Republicans in order to keep the government open?
I certainly hope so. I know that I'm not going to vote for their proposal for sure. Here's the thing. Our strength lies in standing together. And honestly, that is a message that not only applies to us that are sitting in the House, but that actually applies to Democrats across the board. The more that we can stand together, the stronger we are. Everyone knows united we stand, divided we fall. And so we were divided in the election. We can't allow them to divide us at this moment. I have reached out to my colleagues and asked if there are colleagues that are concerned. Talk to me about what those concerns are, because I want to make sure that we can provide cover for them if they have concerns and feel as if they are compelled to vote for this budget. But the leader is absolutely correct. And I hate the headlines that keep saying the Democrats may shut the government down. This isn't up to the Democrats, right? We're not the ones that are going to shut the government down. The question is if we will do everything to keep the government open. But right now they have a Trump trifecta. So when and if the government shuts down, it is going to be on Trump.
Yeah, it's been a month. It's flown by or taken forever, depending on who you ask. But either way, let's take a look at Trump's numbers right now. This is his net approval rating. These are polls, 4 of them released over the last week. And you might notice there's a lot of red on the screen and a lot of negatives. Trump is underwater in all these polls. His net approval rating, look at this, -5 points in the CNN poll, -6 points in Gallup, -7 points in Ipsos, -4 points in Quinnipiac, negative, 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 and then negative. He is underwater in all of these polls. As I said earlier this week, he's a little bit like the Little Mermaid, underwater.
That's one way to put it.
Yes.
Harry, and then how are people's feelings toward Trump changing from a month ago?
Yeah, all right, so you notice all negatives. You know, I come on this program, I give the good news for one side, the bad news for the same side, depending on how the polls change. And here you can see it very well here. Trump's net approval rating, the change since January. 3 of those pollsters on that prior page had a poll conducted just after Trump took office, and you can see the trend line here. It ain't good for President Trump. It ain't good. In Gallup, he's down 5 points on net approval. Quinnipiac down 7 points. And the Reuters Ipsos poll, get this, down 13 points. Their first poll was conducted, I believe, January 20th to 21st. And you can see how much Trump's numbers have taken a dive, how much they've taken a dive since he's come into office. The bottom line is a month in, voters are not liking what Trump's doing compared to how they thought they'd feel a month ago.
And obviously, the economy, a big help to Trump in his first term. What about now?
Yeah, this to me is the biggest shocker of all of this, because you can recall, even when Trump was underwater during pretty much all of his first term, he was positive on the economy. Trump's net approval rating on the economy in February 2017, he was 5 points above water in the average poll. Look at where he is now. The economy, which was once his bread and butter, has all of a sudden been something that is holding him back. He's actually doing worse on the economy than he is doing overall in the average poll. That, to me, is just shocking. That is shocking because Trump won on the economy. And just like with Joe Biden, I've said this a number of times, inflation and the economy ate the Joe Biden presidency alive. Voters elected Trump to change the course of the economy. And so far, what's happening? Trump's not changing the economy. The economy is changing voters' views on Donald Trump. They are negative.
Interesting. That's a good way to put it to kind of help explain it. What about the top complaint that those who oppose Trump have to him now?
Yeah, you might think it's the economy. It ain't the economy. It's actually what we led off this hour with. Take a look here. What is it? The top worst things Trump has done. Look at this, 24% amongst those who oppose Donald Trump, 24%, the top answer in the Washington Post Ipsos poll said Musk, DOGE, or those funding freezes or cuts. That is number one. You might have thought maybe as well it could be the immigration policy. Of course, remember, when January of 2017, remember all those folks that were out on the street, they were going against Trump because they felt his immigration policies, that Muslim ban was too tough. But that's actually complaint number 2. It's actually the federal spending cuts, Musk and DOGE, that is in fact pulling Trump back. Voters simply put, do not like it. It is the number one reason that they oppose Donald Trump at this particular point.
And then what about the Elon Musk of it all? How do they feel about his role in the administration?
Yeah, so let's dig a little bit deeper into Elon Musk. Take a look here. Musk's role in the administration, a key role for Musk in the administration. Look at this. Overall with voters, 42% approve. You don't need to be a mathematical genius to see that 54% is the larger number. They disapprove of the key role that Musk is playing in this Trump administration. And among independents, Jessica, just 39% approve. Elon Musk has not been a positive for Donald Trump so far. He's been a negative for him, just like the economy so far has been a negative for Donald Trump.
And have feelings on Musk changed since he took this role?
You might think, hey, maybe people are warming up a little bit to Elon Musk given his role. Donald Trump certainly has very warm feelings towards the Tesla man. Elon Musk's net favorable rating, look at this. In December of 2024, he was 5 points underwater. Not great, but not horrible. But look at this. In the recent Quinnipiac University poll, he's now 12 points underwater. Voter views towards Elon Musk have become more negative, just like they become more negative towards Donald Trump. Voters, at least 1 month in, don't like what they're seeing. We'll see what happens down the road. But so far, not so good for the second term for Donald Trump and friends.
So, folks, it's getting bad for Trump. And credit to young, energetic Democrats like Jasmine Crockett. I'm not trying to recriminate things, but this is a reason why Crockett and some moderate Democrats and a lot of progressives supported putting AOC as the head of the chairman, the oversight committee, because you can look at the energy a lot of the young Dems have, and it's not purely left versus right, but there is a certain generational thing where they're just really amped up to take it to Trump. Not to get too graphic, but it's like they smell the blood in the water, right? And they know that he's weak right now, and they know that Americans are pissed right now, and that they're like, we gotta seize this moment to really hammer home. Donald made these simple promises to you. We're not talking about big promises that, he's gonna make America great again, whatever the heck that means on an undefined timeline. He promised you cheaper eggs, cheaper gas, cheaper burgers, cheaper housing, and he has not delivered. And if anything, he's negatively delivered. He promised businesses more customer spending because the economy would be stronger, so businesses would do better, and we're seeing the opposite there too. No one except the billionaires really are directly benefiting from Trumpism right now, right? Not even the regular rich people are benefiting as much as they often do. Or only the uber rich are benefiting, right? And so they note this. And so on the House floor, Democrats are energized. And this is the symbiotic relationship. Democrats, people on the street started this. Regular Americans protesting. That gets Democrats going in the House. Democrats going in the House actually doing something gets you guys excited, gets regular folks excited. What do? They protest even louder. That encourages more Democrats to do the right thing as well. And together, they're going to make Trumpism a mess, a neutered mess for the next 4 years.